TV. Merry Christmas. I hope you're all having a lovely time with your family and friends and loved ones. I just want to say thank you so much for all your support on the channel this year. It's been fantastic so far, and I can't wait to go into January. Well, we've got Boxing Day fixture first, haven't we? And I'm going, so I'll do a nice vlog for you there for those of you that obviously can't make it. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to go into January now because I feel like, you know, we need to start the new year on a high, and let's just hope that, you know, our Boxing Day fixture against Brighton sort of starts that off. Anyway, I thought as it's Christmas, I would go through my top sort of best and worst moments so far up until this point in the season. So hopefully there's more good than bad. But yes, so let's get going. In at number 6 is going to be our loss to Burnley at the start of the season, 3-2. I've put this in as one of my worst because we just sort of started the season on a massive low. You know, going 3 goals down is really not what you want. Hazard was injured, if I remember correctly, and I just thought, oh, here we go again. But yeah, it wasn't the best way to start the season, and you never ever want to lose your first match of the season, especially on home soil. So yeah, that unfortunately has to be one of my worst moments so far. In at number 5, one of my best moments is beating Tottenham at Wembley 2-1. Marcus Alonso scored 2 fantastic goals, and there's just nothing better than beating Spurs at Wembley. I had a great day out with my mate Dave, and I just love the whole atmosphere. I love the entire day. I think I actually ended up getting home around, well, a very, very late time at night and highly intoxicated, unfortunately, but that's what happens when you celebrate. You win against your North London rivals, and unfortunately you wake up with a horrendous hangover, but nevertheless it was a fantastic day, and that has to be one of my best moments so far. In at number 4, another worst moment is our loss to Roma, 3-0. I actually ended up not going to that game, but it was a really, really late last minute decision, and I'm glad I didn't because it wasn't a good game. And I think when you travel away in Europe, I think it's okay to, you know, lose games as long as you've put in the effort and you can see the team are playing really well. And I thought that was one of the worst matches I've ever watched. I think I was in Dubai at the time watching it. I stayed up 4 hours to try and catch this game. And yeah, the boys let me down, unfortunately. It was not only some of the worst defending I've ever seen. I think we had probably 3 or 4 defenders chasing after one player, leaving the entire side open for Roma to score. Luckily they didn't, I think, at this point, but you know, the scoreline speaks for itself. 3 goals down. We haven't kept a clean sheet. We haven't performed well at all, and it's probably some of the most, you know, not just collectively, but some of the worst individual performances I've ever seen. So yeah, unfortunately, Roma definitely has to be in there with one of our worst performances this season. In at number 3, another fantastic moment is beating Manchester United 1-0. Always fantastic to win against, you know, one of our top 4 rivals. I think having Mourinho back there, I think all the fans, for some reason now, really want to beat him every single time we come to play United. But for me, it was just more, you know, top 4 rivals. Great to pick up the 3 points there. And again, another 3 points won at home, and that's exactly what we need. We need to win, you know, our games at home against our top rivals. And unfortunately, it was not United's day. In at number 2, a worst moment for me, and it's going to be a very, very recent one, and that is our 0-0 against Everton this weekend. You know, listen, I'm not actually too disappointed with the performance. I think we actually quite dominated quite a lot of the game. We just don't have that finishing striker, and I feel like that game highlighted our problem that we've sort of had for the last few months, really, and what the problem we had when we didn't have the transfer window. We signed one striker, we signed Morata, but we don't have a second choice. We don't have a second option. Morata was out suspended, and it just reiterates the point that we have no attacking force. We have nobody that Conte relies on. We have nobody as a backup. And when Morata isn't on form, again, we have not got a suitable forward. So I feel like this weekend's game just basically highlighted the entire fact that we need a striker, and we need to make sure that our January transfer window, especially our next summer transfer window, this is resolved, because we're not going to be able to retain a Premier League title without a decent striker. In at number 1, let's finish on a massive high. That is our 2-1 win over Atletico Madrid away in Madrid. You know, listen, I went, I had an absolutely fantastic time, spent a couple of days out there. It's a wonderful city. And I think whenever I travel away in Europe, because I've been on so many Euro aways, I mean, I've been to Napoli, where we lost 3-1. I've been to Genk, Slovenia, and we played Maribor. Schalke away was fantastic. But out of all those, Schalke away is probably the only one I remember us actually, you know, properly winning, all bar, you know, the semi-final and the final in Amsterdam and Munich. I never really expect much from us because we do actually struggle away from home. But this performance especially, and I'm not just saying this, is one of the best performances I've ever seen from a Chelsea side. and playing against one of the top teams in Europe, in my opinion, although they didn't obviously have, you know, the best group stage this year. On paper, they're one of the best teams in Europe. So I was I was completely shocked at the way we performed. I think the lead up to the second goal, especially when Batshuayi got the winner in the 90-something minute, was absolutely fantastic. I've never seen us play that well. I think Kante and Bakayoko worked fantastically together. I think the whole team just put in an absolutely amazing performance, and all the fans were absolutely buzzing around me, so that actually when it came to us having to wait an hour or two in the ground after, nobody really cared, because we picked up a fantastic 3 points there, and that's helped us qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League this season. So I'm absolutely thrilled with that. And yeah, Barcelona next. So yeah, that has to be one of my highlights, and I'm sure it is yours too. I've never ever seen such a fantastic performance in probably, well, the last few years really. I'd go as far as saying I just thought it was that good. So yeah, that has to be my number one favourite moment. So there you have it. Those are my top 6 best and worst moments. Comment below, what are yours? I'm sure I've missed out some for sure. But I just want to say, from me, Rory and Charlie, thank you so much for watching the channel up until this point. We really appreciate all your support, and we hope to be bringing you even more videos come January. So yeah, look out for my matchday vlog on Boxing Day. That's going to be up. And yeah, I'm going to have the matchday experience. So for those of you that can't make it, at least you've known what's going on. Hopefully it's another 3 points so that we go into the new year on a high. And yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones, and I will see you all on Boxing Day.